Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome back to Butterpine Porch, where we've yet to actually have a video on the porch. I'm too self-conscious with apartment neighbors. But anyway, we are going to take a break from Seed Watch today, and I'm going to be making some banana bread. I am not a baker by any means. This is just a super basic recipe. I have some bananas that went bad about 2 weeks ago and I threw them in the freezer, and I was just waiting until I had the time and felt like it. I will list off the measurements of everything just right now, so that I don't have to like explain what I'm doing while I'm cooking. I have 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of soft unsalted butter, softened, not melted, and not cold, 1 cup of brown sugar. The recipe I found said light. I don't think it really matters. Brown sugar, it's all yummy. And then 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, plus I always do a little extra for good luck and flavor. And then mashed up bananas, 1.5 to 3 cups. And then the recipe I found said to bake at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour, but she had a glass loaf pan and I have like the thin kind of tin ones. So I probably won't need to do mine for that long, but I'll be toothpick testing it probably every like 15 minutes or so to start, and then I'll, whittle it down as it gets closer. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and set you up where you can see the bowls and such, and you can make fun of me for if this gets messy or when I inevitably do things wrong. Alrighty, so we're gonna start by throwing on a cute apron that is necessary for the recipe to turn out well. And then to our softened butter, we're going to add that 1 cup of brown sugar and go ahead and start combining that with an egg beater, KitchenAid, whatever you're working with. And basically, as you whip this together, you are going to notice it lighten in color and there will be no more chunks of brown sugar or butter. It's fine if there are some, but you just want to get all the big ones out. Scrape down the sides just to make sure you get it all in there. And then after that is all incorporated, we're going to add the rest of our wet ingredients. So that's going to be the mashed up banana, vanilla, and the 2 eggs. I never measure the banana. Roughly a bunch, like 1 bunch of bananas mashed up is gonna work for any banana bread recipe. I've never had an issue with varying amounts of banana. And then 1 ingredient I don't mention is just some ground cinnamon. I love cinnamon in my banana bread and most desserts. So I've got some of that in there as well. There go our eggs. Go ahead and combine. And then next up in our medium-sized bowl there, I have all the dry ingredients. So that is our flour, salt, and baking soda. I just add half at a time. It just keeps from making a huge mess, basically, with the egg beater. And it's kind of easier to incorporate into the dough. And then you really just want to make sure you get the sides and the bottom and make sure there's no hidden pockets of flour anywhere. And then next I'm just going to spray the loaf pan here. And then I add chocolate to like 1/3 or 1/2 of the loaf because my husband was taking some to work this week and him and one of his work friends like chocolate and their banana bread, so you'll see that I mix some of that in to just part of the loaf. I don't like chocolate in mine, so the rest of the loaf doesn't have it. And then I just throw a little bit on top so it's nice and pretty. And now while I set that to bake at roughly 325 with my tin pans, I didn't do 350 because I don't have glass, I went ahead and made some spearmint tea. It was a nice sunny day out, so I decided to brew it out on the porch. So just throw some cold water in there, about 4 tea bags for this big jar, and set it outside. And I show you inside the flower pot here in a minute, and in the middle, the purple bit is the hens and chicks that I talked about in the germination video last week. Nice sunny day. I drank that tea today and it was delicious. And this is our loaf. So this is how our banana bread turned out. I wound up making 2 loaves today. Yummy, they taste good. And the outer edges look really dark, but they're still soft and like spongy and cake-like. They're not like burnt or charred or hard or anything. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a baker. Never claimed to be, but they're yummy. And that's kind of all that matters. And then, like you saw earlier, I've got some spearmint tea that I have going out on the porch. And yeah, but that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. It's probably a little quick one, but just an easy, simple banana bread recipe.